Today we'll be talking about the Squirrel Fairy and second prince of Palmyra Kingdom, and don't forget the second mascot of Yes Percure 5 and Gogo, that being Natts. So let's get into the information. Natts is one of the princes from the Palmyra Kingdom, a squirrel that can transform into a human who is a clerk of a jewelry shop called Natts House. In the beginning of the series, he was sealed within the Dream Collect, and the only way to get him out was that the Percure used their powers. Although Natts couldn't do much in the human world, he is profoundly able to fight, using his tail in his real form, although mostly uses this when he is annoyed at Gogo. When in his fairy form, he ends his sentences with Natts. Natts comes from the 4th and 5th season of Percure, Yes Percure 5 and Yes Percure 5 Gogo. He made his debut in episode 7 of Yes 5, and his home place is Palmyra Kingdom. His role is a mascot in the series. His human name is Mr. Natsu. Yeah, he didn't really care to make his name unique, unlike Gogo. But his theme color is brown, and he has the power to summon the Milky Mirror. He is voiced by Mayu Irino, and he has 2 image songs, which are Jewel and When We're Linked Forever. Natts as a fairy is a squirrel with a bushy tail. He also has tan color with dark brown paws. He has hair on his head that's dark orange. In his human form, Natts has tanned skin and dark blonde hair. He wears a dark red shirt with a brown vest over it, and he has a belt and blue jeans. He also wears brown hunter shoes. Natts is usually serious and distrustful, almost to the complete opposite from his best friend Gogo. Because of his traumatic past, he uses time to get close to people. However, he has often shown to be extremely stubborn and sharp-tongued, not wanting help from people when facing problems. In episode 16 of Yes 5, Natts also believes that the truth is always the best, and thus never lies about anything if possible. Because of this belief, it is hard for him to apologize or say things he does not mean, because his simple logic is different from others. However, Natts will honestly feel remorseful if he has hurt someone's feelings, regardless of his beliefs. Natts' best friend and fellow prince of Palmyra Kingdom is Gogo. When talking to Nozomi about Natts, Gogo compares their friendship with that being between her and Ren, and also adds that they fight as much as they become friends again in Yes 5 episode 2. However, when Natts is released from the Dream Collect, they have a hard time communicating, as Natts has lost his trust in others from Yes 5 episode 7 in the end. They get along better, and when Natts is in danger or is weak, Gogo is usually the one that to care the most. Sometimes they get awkward when Natts is jealous of Gogo, as shown in Yes Percure 5 Gogo, when Natts is unable to help Percure in their fights. At the beginning, Natts views Komachi just as useless as the rest of the Percure, but as the series goes on, he begins to form a special bond with Komachi, similar to the bond of Nozomi Yumihara, Yura Kasagano, and Karen Minazuki have with cocoa, syrup, and milk, respectfully. However, these feelings are hardly ever shown, and thus it is mostly Komachi who shows her affection to him. though it is highly possible that he catches her hints even if he does not show it. In the end, he entrusts her with the key he always carries around his neck before he leaves to go back to Percure. In episode 49 of Yes 5, Natts' relationship with Komachi is also often hinted in merchandise such as cards and other images, where he is often seen together with Komachi, or in the introduction part of Yes Percure 5 Gogo, Okanaishi no Kun no Happy Birthday, where Cure Natts' outfit uses the same trademarks as Cure Mint. Natts' name means nut. A type of plant, it is also strictly a particular kind of dry food that has a single seed, a hard shell, and a protective husk. Natsu, Natts' human name, was not official until Yes Percure 5 Gogo Okanai no Kuni no Happy Birthday. This name is a pun to his real name, and it's pronounced almost the same in Japanese. It uses the kanji for summer. Natts' the reason Nightmare managed to infiltrate Percure Kingdom. When he was on guard, he saw a hurt creature and tried to help it. But as he opened the passage, the creature was revealed to be on the evil side. And as he had opened the door, other monsters came inside and invaded the kingdom. Depressed and angry, Natts blamed himself and lost his trust to people before he and Coco were forced to escape. In order to keep the Dream Collect safe, he and Coco ran away and to go to the human world. There, while being chased by Hedenya, Natts shielded Coco from her attack, and they together fell down the cliff. Natts is trying to take as much damage as possible from his friend while the Dream Collect lost all the pinkies. Because of the heavy injuries, the Dream Collect took Natts inside of it and disappeared, leaving Coco alone and lost in the human world. After the start of the show, Natts' existence is not revealed before the second episode, when Coco says that he, like Nozomi Yumihara, has a best friend, and that he has to find the others of the Percure in order to release him from the Dream Collect. Though Coco describes their friendship like the one of Nozomi and her best friend, when Natts is finally released from the Dream Collect, he has already lost his trust in people, including his best friend's judgment. So wishing for his kingdom's survival, however, he teaches Percure how to use the Dream Collect to collect the pinkies. After Cure Dream defends him from one of the nightmares, when said nightmare reveals Natts' sins from the past, Natts describes the trust to the girls, if even a little, though excuses that to Coco by saying that as the nightmares are stubborn people, he has to choose. He shows his new trust by clearing their new secret base, making it a jewelry shop called Natts House, and giving Percure cases for their pinky catchers when they are not using them. Once again, he proves his trust to Percure by helping them keep their secret from Mikamasuko, who tries to use them for a scoop. Using his look, he manages to make tomorrow's article all about him, leaving only a small image-less corner for Percure. Although it seems like things are going to be fine, Natts' problems when his shop gets no customers, and he is unable to get money for food. When Coco offers him some food, he refuses as he does not like taking charity. After not eating for 2 days, Natts eventually collapses and deforms into a fit mascot form in front of the Percure and Coco after explaining his situation. They give him some sweets from Komachi's family shop, and Natts promises to pay her back as soon as he has the money, though Komachi tells him it is alright. For the rest of the day and the day afterwards, the girls try to find a way to help Natts get customers. But it is not until Komachi suggested flyers that they actually begin this work. After a hard battle against the fellow starver, the Nightmare Gamao, Natts coincidentally gives a flyer to Mika, who once again uses a whole article about him and his shop, leading this to the shop to be filled with girls from the school. Thanks to this, Natts' shop becomes fashionable and Natts is capable of feeding himself. Both Natts and Gogo are now the new kings of Percure Kingdom. He is given the Percure crown in episode 31, allowing Milky Rose to use the Milky Note and Milky Mirror. Both he and Gogo can combine powers to allow Cure Dream and Milky Rose to combine their powers. Like Gogo, Natts can transform into human form, which he uses in public and interacts with those who do not know his identity, going by the alias Mr. Natsu. Mika Masuko uses the horrific Sama as a very respectful honorific to address him because she highly admires him. He goes as the clerk of the jewelry shop called Natts House. Natsu's looks are so good and that many people crush on him, and thus he has been shown several times in the series, sometimes for like a comedian. Unlike Natts' mascot form, Natsu hardly ever smiles nor laughs and is mostly seen in a control of his feelings. Natts is able to be in this form as long as he would like. He prefers staying in his mascot form as staying in his human form is tiring for him. He transforms back into a mascot from easily. Just like Gogo, Natts is careful with his actions, though will not hesitate if he has to save those who know his secret. As known, Natts can transform into a human like some of the mascots in the Percure 5 and take the name Mr. Natsu. In the Percure 5 Gogo, Natts is able to use the power of his Percure crown to summon the Milky Note and the Milky Mirror for Milky Rose. In a part of the Percure 5 Gogo, Okanashi no Kuni no Happy Birthday, he along with Gogo jokingly used the powers of the Miracleites to transform into Cure Natts, who along with Cure Gogo's form the duo Coconuts. It is unknown if he has the same powers as Gogo had when he was brainwashed, example like combat moves and blasting energy spears. It is possible because Natts was wearing the clothes Gogo wore when brainwashed during the ending theme. Fact 1. Natts is the only mascot in this season who doesn't have a certain name in his human form. Fact 2. Natts has the smallest ears out of the most mascots in the Percure history, although he has the largest tail. In Fact 3. Natts shares the same voice actor with Manabu Miyasako, a supporting character from Futari wa Percure Spy Star. And that was the information of Natts. Next time, we'll be talking about the last mascot, Sewer, before moving on to the villains and allies. So see you next time.